So this island over here that you can see is called Isla Ballena, Isla Ballena, meaning the whale. So it's got a shape of a whale is what everybody says. And they're right, it does have that shape of a whale coming up out of the water. So I thought I'd give you a look at that. That's on our way out of the bay that we just left. And I got a couple boats out here, a couple sailboats, some power boaters. We are motor sailing with just the main up. And we'll see what we get when we make a turn up here, if we catch any more wind to drop the motor. I highly doubt it from the looks of it, but we'll see. Gotta be hopeful. And you gotta be what?
Fluidity. Oh, fluid, yes.
Here's a look as we're getting close to the anchorage of Isla San Francisco. There's about 9 boats in here that we can see so far. We could make 10 or 11 because there was a cat that came in just ahead of us, so we'll see what we can find in here. But that's a look at Isla San Francisco. Okay, so we got in here, we anchored, we had a bite of lunch. Another boat came in here, another power boat, sailboat, power boat, sailboat, power boat, sailboat, us, so sailboat. But the power boaters have all of the water toys, and they've set up some shade on shore, stuff like that. So that tells me they're probably chartered, or they're private owned that have captains, like this one over here that's blue topped. His dinghy, as you can see him running around in it, is always running back and forth around shore and back and forth. So I think that's a private owned boat, just from the looks of it. And maybe this one is too, but you know, they make a lot of trips to and from shore, dropping people off. Okay, today is the 30th of April, and we dinghied ashore. And so there we sit, one of the 2 sailboats out there, obviously, the one with the blue. The other one is, what's the name of their boat?
Dulcinea.
Dulcinea. Dosi, whatever it is. Dosi, whatever.
Yeah, Dulcinea.
Dulcinea, I'm sure. So we get to the ridge, which isn't very far, really. But there's this dry bed. Takes you over to the other anchorage. So we may... Huh?
On the east side.
On the east side. Well, it's the other side.
Yeah.
And so maybe we'll try to take a stroll over there and see what that has to offer. So here's the east side of Isla San Francisco, where we're moored on the opposite side. So we walked all the way across to where you can see those boats over there. And we walked over here, probably a half a mile. Easy walk. Desert. But this is what it is. So this anchorage is definitely not beach worthy, except for maybe a little bit down there, but man, that's pretty shallow. But a whole lot less attractive than the other side. So we just talked to those 4 gentlemen. They're from Costa Rica. The last one there of the 4 is actually now from Wisconsin, but the first 3 are brothers, and the guy from Wisconsin is the uncle. Very nice. They said this anchorage over here on the east side was very rolly, not very comfortable. But they hiked the ridge, and now they're doing some other things up there too. So very nice guys. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 salt evaporation pools. So this is like the Himalayan salt. that you get. They're really crusty and hard.
Yeah.
But they're pinkish in color. Not bright pink, just a light pink.
Here we are. We made it to the point. You can see the light behind us. Warning hazard light. Yes, right there. But yes, this is just a beautiful place. Got a couple of power boats heading this way again, maybe 3 of them. So
Oh, you got those and you got this guy.
very
coming in.
interesting in the afternoons here. This place fills up. It's crazy with power boats and
The place to
jets. I mean, you saw it. It was pretty crazy yesterday. All right, heading back. There's our boat, a Kia, sitting at anchor with its flopper stopper out. More later.
April 30th, sunset. And what did we see in here but a seal? And he's playing right there. Don't know, there he is. Can you see him coming up and down in the water? You may not be able to see it on here, but he's the dark spot in the water. Just came in front of us. Anyway, here's our last night here at Anchorage. And what a great sunset. This side has got a lot of smoke in it. We saw a fire on shore earlier, and it really has brought the smoke in. And we do have some clouds, but the sunset really within this is beautiful. And there you go. So good night from Isla San Francisco Bay here in the Sea of Cortez on the last day of April. Good morning, everybody. It is May Day, May 1st, 2022, and we are getting ready to depart Isla San Francisco here in the Sea of Cortez. It was a very rocky night last night, and it's still rocky this morning. So we're going to head out for about an hour over to Isla San Jose and see if we can find the mangroves at high tide, because that's when you've got to try to do those. So hope everybody has a great May Day, and we'll show you more later on.
Well, here we are in Isla San Jose, the southeast Amorajada, I believe, Amorajada anchorage, where the mangrove river goes in over there and back down through there into a huge lagoon. So we're gonna go explore that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including us here. We tried anchoring in the shallower water where there's a sand bottom, but it would not grab. So I don't know if it's because it's too shallow of a sand or what. But first time we've had to anchor 3 times to get it to catch, but we did. And so here we are.
So we're coming to the opening of the lagoon to try to get back into the mangroves. It's supposed to be high tide, but it's pretty shallow here. Unfortunately, as we have stated in many videos before, we have a long shaft on our outboard motor, and so we've always got to try to pull it up to try to get in, and we'll see what happens. We may have to walk it across part of this bar here. Well, we got across the bar. Didn't have any issues there. Good thing it's high tide. Coming out, it could be a different story if this is very long and we dawdle. So we'll just kind of keep going. It's a nice wide lagoon here compared to the last ones we were in, the last mangroves we were in Tenecatita. What was it, Chamela? Tenecatita. They were very narrow. Looks like we found the opening to the lagoon after we've come through these mangroves, not mangoes, mangroves. You skirt around the shoreline. It kind of looks like what everybody else is doing. This is a pretty good sized lagoon. I mean, look at this. This is like its own little lake. So we've seen a, what do we think that was?
We saw a sea turtle and a fish that we thought looked like a barracuda. But
yeah, we thought it was a barracuda, and it was right here next to the boat. I thought it was a stick. So I told Rick to move port to avoid it, and here it was, a fish that we thought was barracuda. And we saw a small sea turtle. So we'll keep looking. We have not seen very many birds of any kind in here. So we'll just keep looking. But it is a huge bay. We got something popping its head up here. We think it's a turtle. I think it's a turtle. I think it's a turtle. He's right here in the water. Right there. Oh, he just went down. He didn't like the sound of our boat. He's a big turtle. Oh, I heard the birds. I heard birds. We may have some birds. So this is the other side where you see all this rock. We hate to try to tie up to a rock and go up and see what's over on top of it. But you can see the mangroves aren't anywhere near as lush on this side as they are over there. But such is the life when you have someone rowing and you're just sitting here, relaxing. So we are over here. I think we're on Boca Sur. And we actually want to go over to, we're over here? Yeah. Boca Norte? Yeah. Okay, and we want to go over to Timbabichi.
we're going to go to...
From here, here's Timbabichi,
Right here.
and there's Agua Verde. Okay, yeah, so here, we're going to come this way.
Yeah, because we're right here. We're right there. This is a blow up of this little area.
This is a blow up. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
So we're going to leave here.
Yeah,
and
we'll
right
go
over
here. And then we'll go up here, up this coastline.
Yeah, to Aqua Verde.
Aqua Verde, up there. And then I think that island is the Catalina, Isla Catalina. The white spot up there is Isla Catalina.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go farther north, but that'll give you an idea of where we are. So we're down in here.
Yeah, here's where we are in Baja.
Yep, in Baja, California, sir. This is where we are.
Way down here, we're right in here. So cool beans.
Kind of give you a little excerpt of what we're doing and where we are. Okay, we've hung out here at Isla San Jose, did the mangroves, as you saw, and now we're going to get ready to depart here. All the other boats that were in here when we came in are now gone, except one. And they're out in their dinghy exploring things, and I don't know where they'll go from there. But we are getting ready to head out of here towards Everesto, and we'll give you a look at when that happens, should it happen. Sounds like it's got some anchorage in the South Bay, but not the North Bay. You get 4 boats in the North Bay, you're crowded. So we were thinking we would aim for the South Bay. So we'll give you a look when we get there. But isn't this water just beautiful? in Isla San Francisco due to some high voltage issues with the battery. While we're running, the alternator is pumping way too much to it. So we had to once again pull the breaker from it, or the fuse, and stop charging the battery. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing, but it's overcharging at 16 to 18 volts instead of staying at the 13.8. So we came back here to Isla San Francisco Bay. This is where we were for 2 nights before. Left this morning, now we're back. Tomorrow we will head to one of the other anchorages. It's part way to La Paz. And then we'll go into La Paz the day after. So unless we get up early because of the winds like we had last night and we get out of here, it's 8 hours across to get into La Paz. We don't know if they have room in the anchorage or not, but we're just going to take our chances because we have got to find an electrician again up here somewhere to see if we can't get this thing sorted out. But anyway, just wanted to give you a look here again at the bay. Not as many boats in here, not as many party boats in here, so that's good. But the winds really came up last night. Might be doing it again tonight from the feel of it, but we'll sure see. Good morning, everybody. It's May 2nd, 2022. We're still here in Isla San Francisco Bay, working on the battery charging issue we have with the start battery getting too much charge, and trying to get that figured out. So Rick has changed the regulator back out to the old one from the new one. There's 2 new alternators, and the one we had in, well, no matter which one we have in, they charge just the starting battery, and that's the one that's been giving us an issue with putting too much volts into it, at anywhere from 16 to 18 volts going into a charge to the starting battery while we're running, and that's not good for that battery. So this morning he has changed out the regulator, wondering if that is the issue, because that's the only common thing between all the alternators that we've tried, and it was still doing the same thing. So he's down if we're still charging or not. We have changed our plan and have decided we are going to go to La Paz. It's a straight 8-hour run. Try to get into the anchorage or a dock and see if we can get this issue resolved. Don't know what's going to happen, but stay with us and we'll keep updating you as normal.
Yeah, you can see a whale surfacing just off the port bow. Just on the other sides of the shrouds. There's one. It's the closest we've been able to get to one and see him surface. Usually they dive. Look at him. He's just gorgeous. Now he's going to raise his tail maybe. Nope, not this time.
Today's the 7th day of May, and we've been sitting here in Costa Baja Marina on their fuel dock for almost a week now. Again, we had alternator issues. One was not in good enough shape to even repair. It had so many things wrong with it, or to rebuild, I should say, not repair. The other one could be repaired and rebuilt, and that was done. So this was the 4th time in 6 months that these alternators have had to be rebuilt. So had an electrician come on board. First we had Carlos, and he felt it was going to be beyond his knowledge to continue to look at our boat. So he referred us to Jorge, or George, from Tech Marine. And so George has come down for the last couple days, did a bunch of testing on wires, changed a few ends, changed a couple things around. Rick can give you more detail on that, but the long and short is we got one alternator back on. We'll run the engine today for an hour at differing RPMs to see if everything holds. Even though we're not out there running in the water, we're still at the dock, we're going to do that. George is bringing back the original alternator that was on the boat when we bought it. And so we had him take that back to his shop last night, and he's going to test it today and bring it back, because we have no idea if the thing is any good or not. We could have been hauling this around for 5 years now for nothing. So wanted to know if it is actually a workable backup alternator. And we moved the temperature sensor for the voltage over to the battery, on the battery, so we know what the battery temperature is. And we did a couple other changes of some wiring ends, but I'll let Rick get more technical after fired up to let her run for a while to see how she's going to perform. Make sure the alternator is doing what it's supposed to do and not go freaky on us. We'll let it sit here and idle for a little while, then we'll rev up the RPMs, let it sit there at a few RPMs, see what it does, and then raise them up. So we'll do that gradually. Let this thing run for about an hour or so, see how it goes. Tonight, after we get back from dinner, or maybe even first thing in the morning, we'll take off the covers on our windows here, and our front screen, and our viewing hatch. Get those back off and put away. I don't know where we're going. Where are we going next?
Probably go back to Isla San Francisco for the night, and then up to Evaristo, and then we'll continue up from Evaristo to, I'm not sure if we're going to stop before we get to Agua Verde, but we want to go up to Agua Verde and then on up to Escondido, Loreto, and we'll probably be out of time by then. Have to start coming back. We're going to be in Mazatlan, or if we have to go back to La Cruz for the alternator or whatever happens.
Yeah, we may have to make that trip back to La Cruz. Probably hear from them tomorrow sometime before, hopefully before we run out of cell service.
Yeah.
We don't get it very, very far out of here.
No, we don't.
Once we get out of here, it's around the bend, we're usually out of cell service. So everything we need to do, we need to have done today. So today's the 10th of May. We have our alternator back on. We've checked it out. Seems to be working fine, sitting here, working with it. We have the bonding strap back on. So now I have checked out of Costa Baja Marina here in La Paz. And I think we're getting ready to get off the dock. It will be a little bit challenging because we can't go forward because of this beautiful 70-foot catamaran in front of us. So we are on the very end of the fuel dock. And I'll just step out here. You can see we are right up against the break rocks that come in here. Right behind us is a channel buoy. So we have got to back up, stay away from the rocks, stay away from the buoy, get out there, all the while holding the bow against this dock so that we can spring off of the bow and get the stern to go where we need it to go. So hoping everything goes according to plan. The boat, the catamaran owner, Peter, has offered to come and help with the bow line. I've got, I think, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 fenders up now, up off to the bow to help us stay off the dock as we back up. And he'll throw me my bow line when we get that all done. So we are now in that mode of getting stuff ready. So it's going on 10 minutes to 12 here in La Paz. In everywhere else in the world, it's a whole different time, and the time zones change every time we move. So I have no idea what time it'll be when we dock, but whenever we won't dock again, we will anchor. So whenever we anchor, it'll be whatever that time is. So have a good day, guys. Bye.